So this is what I'm saying. I'm just saying, say, when you look at the body, the physical body, you have externals like your hands, your eyes, your nose, your ears, your legs. Maybe it's to do with your lips or to do with your eyes. You can sit somewhere and maybe control things with your eyes. Or you can walk into a room and somebody will look at your eyes and it's like, oh, there's something about your eyes. So if the good is in your eyes, use it, because that's a gift on its own. That is yours. You personalize that and use it. Within you, there are things within you that you alone have it, and I can never have it. That makes you. It can never be duplicated. I can never be an original of you. We all have treasures within us, but you need to find out what the treasures are. The passions. The passion, something that you do it for free, even if you're sleeping or you don't have to ever work and they ask you to do it for free because it comes effortlessly. It's within you.
What can you give an example?
So, for instance, let's just say I happen to know that the treasure is to do with my voice. I have a very unique voice. I sit with people, I talk to them, and they fall in love with my voice. And it's very calming. Is that? So I know what, so I need to utilize it. I need to sort of work on it. And it's like, for me, because it's to do with my voice, sitting with people, coaching them and stuff, no. I do it with no stress. And I love to do it. Just to get people motivated or get people to get to their highest, to push them. That is and I can do that without pay. And I do it without pay anyway.
The emphasis is without pay.
Emphasis without pay. That is a passion. There's a difference between profession, something you like to do, or
something you are trained to do.
You are trained to do. And the passion, okay, let's say I have a good voice. I can sing. But that's a hobby. That's not my passion. Because it's a hobby, it's like I have to force myself to do it. Sometimes when you ask me to sing, I get upset. Because I don't like that. It's like it agitates me. But when you ask me to give a speech, it's like, whoa, I'm excited. I'll do it for free. If you ask me to sing and that you pay me 1 million, it's like, no. But I'd rather speak for free. That's my passion. I can sleep and wake up and you ask me to talk about something and I'm always on it, talking. So, what I'm saying is that understanding is very powerful, because if you don't take time to understand your body, you yourself, if you don't take time to find out the treasures that is within you, you're not going anywhere. But when you get the understanding and you take time to find you, so now what happens is you live above everything. Money, you live above it. Money can never control you, because you know that you are very powerful. So you have money, you dictate to money what money had to do for you. You don't chase after money, you control money. So money comes to you because you are the boss. You have to first of all understand that.
Not to cut you off, how can you understand within you what you're capable of? How do you take that time? Like, what do you do to take that time? Is it like through praying? Is it through fasting? Is it through like studying? Like what?
So not through prayer, not through fasting. No. And that's the part that when I meet some Christians, they are fasting, they are praying for 10 years, they are still the same. They have found it. Because there's something called common sense. See, the thing is that the mind controls the brain. The mind has got nothing to do with spirituality. The mind is there as common. You have to use it, the mind. And the difference between Christians and non-Christians is that they spiritualize everything. Whilst other people, they use the brain, that this is a brain, this is my mind. My mind is separate from the brain, and the mind is supposed to control the brain. So the brain is like a computer. Whatever you feed your brain, it starts. So sometimes you have to deprogram what you have fed your brain with before you can get higher. If you tell yourself, your brain, that, oh no, I don't like this, oh no, I don't want to eat this food because they are not good for me, it understands that. So anytime you find this food, the brain is afraid because it gives you signals that you can't eat this. So your taste bud is even afraid to, because the brain controls almost all your senses. So until you deprogram the brain and say that, no, I can eat this, the brain now understands, because it's like a computer. You feed it with information. It is the mind, it is the brain, it is the mind that feeds the brain with that information. So if you are able to feed your brain, to let your brain understand that you are so powerful, you are this powerhouse, there are a lot of treasures within you. When the brain comes to understand, it starts acting as a boss. It starts taking charge like, no. And the thing about it is, the brain doesn't get old. You find 103-year-old, the brain doesn't age.
Yeah, that's true.
So your body can age, but the brain doesn't. So it is all in your mind. Old age is in your mind. If you choose to be old, you can be 23 and be old.
Yeah.
You can be 100 and whatever and still be very young, because the brain is very young all the time. It doesn't age. You can make your brain age. You can sort of put certain things in your brain that can die. That is why you're not supposed to sedate the brain, because the brain is supposed to think and act
on its own.
On its own. So anything that sedates the brain, eventually it dies. It cannot think for itself. Because you killed it. Premature death. That's what it is. So you have to force the brain. You have to activate it. You have to stretch it. But a lot of people are not stretching their brain. So when they get stressed, they need something that will sedate it. So as you're sedating it, you are killing the cells in the brain.
It's like you're hiding.
You're hiding it. And the brain is meant to think, to do things. It's not supposed to sort of relax.
Or like take the pressure and run away.
Take the pressure and run away. So when you do that, because the brain is not programmed that way, eventually it dies. So the muscle in the brain that is supposed to be exercised by thinking, it dies and it cannot think again, because it's like exercising the body. You are not exercising. The brain gets exercised when it's being used and you're thinking and you're doing things and you're pushing it. It's like, I can do this. You can do that. You want to achieve something. So the brain can stretch, because the brain is very powerful. It's like a jelly. But let me tell you, it can store so much. But we only use like 1% of it. So the rest of it is dead. So that is where the problem is. So the mind is a very powerful tool. So you have to be very careful what you tell your brain.
I have a question. So like, if you want to stretch it,
right,
what are like some of the things that you have to do to like, let's set up a scenario where you can give us a practical way of stretching our brains.
Okay, so now for instance, like, you see, when I'm talking, some of the things that I say, where do I get them from? Because I don't read it from any book. I go deep. Because you see, the brain, that's how the brain is. When you release it, it starts thinking, it starts coming out with info. Things that are there. When you go deeper, you go deep to get it. So for me, my gift is my talking. So because I know I have that gift, I go deeper and I stretch my brain to think and come up with things that nobody says that. It's like you stretch it, come up with new things. People come up with new words. How did they do it? Because they are thinking. People decided to make this cupcake or whatever. How did they come up with the ingredients and all that? By thinking.
So thinking activates.
Because when you think, you keep thinking, the brain, you are exercising the muscle of the brain. So you look for complex things. So that is why I keep saying failure is a stepping stone to success. Because if I have to come up with this bracelet, and maybe the finishing product wasn't that good, I failed because the finishing is not that good. But the finishing that is not good is what is going to take me to another level of perfection. So by failing, I don't see it as a failure. I see it as rather helping my brain to think further and push my brain. It's like, no, this is gold, but let me do something. Can I go for platinum? People came out with colors. People came out with platinum. There was nothing like platinum. People were able to mix gold and diamond to get platinum. They get titanium, this and that. Where do they get the idea from? By thinking. So you see, the mind has not been utilized. So what we do is we sort of copy and paste.
Yeah, it's easier to copy and paste.
So that is sedating the brain.
Okay, so that's deep. That's deep.
Because we copy and paste.
That's not even
the
like
brain is not meant to copy and paste.
Yeah, that's not even like taking drugs.
Absolutely.
Like
that is copy and paste. That is another form of sedating.
That's the real sedation, because let's say
you are not thinking.
You're not even thinking when you're doing that.
So taking drugs is killing the brain.
But this one
but not thinking is like useless. At least the
you might
person
as well
had
kill
common
your brain.
sense to even take drugs to kill it.
Okay.
So at least he's acting
on
something. But yours is copy and paste. It's like useless. You are not taking drugs. You are neither here nor there. So your brain can't even function to say, oh, this is drug. Let me go take it. At least you're making an effort to move, to go take it. That is a job on its own. It's like a thief. You see, for a thief to go and steal, that is a job and using their brain. So even for a thief, they are activating their brain because you need to strategize which window to go through or how to turn the knobs, and it's exercising the brain. Even though it's a bad thing, but you're utilizing your brain. Even though it's bad, but at least you're doing something with the brain. So, what it is people that work so hard, they are the poorest people. Because, you see, money is to do with the brain.
Madam Waito, let's not forget also that some of the richest people also work very hard.
So working hard is what? No way.
So let's break it down, because I don't want a confusion whereby somebody is doing it, working hard at the same time.
Okay.
And then somebody is just working hard because that's all they have on their table.
Okay.
Or somebody is just blindly working hard. Let's break it down so
now let me break it down. So when somebody sits at night and thinking about how to come up with a new computer, they are working.
Shit.
They are working their brain.
That's deep. Repeat that. That was deep.
Do you understand?
Yeah, that's true.
When somebody stays all night whilst you are sleeping and they are thinking to come up with a formula, that is working.
That is work.
But it's not physical. What I'm trying to say is that it's not putting more effort, like doing 4 jobs.
It's not
jumping from
a physical effort-based work.
A physical effort-based work. Like from here, you're doing security, you're doing this, you jump in here. At the end of it, you realize that you don't have nothing. And do you know why I say that person is poor? Because somebody had the idea to come up with a company, and you are working for that person with the same brain. When it comes to brain, whether white or black, whatever, it's the same brain. There's no black brain or green. The brain is all the same.
So the only difference is the mind.
It's the mind. Okay. It's just the mind. So now, somebody had an idea to come up with this company, and you're working for them. It's the same mind. They thought of things and they came up with it, which is hard work. To come up with the company and all that is a lot of work. Even though it's not physical, but it's very physical.
That's the deepest work.
That's the deepest. That's what I'm trying to say.
Work. I think that's what your definition really.
So that's why I'm coming there.
You defined it properly.
Okay. Yeah. So you see, they came up and you're working for them. Your insurance, your Medicaid, whatever, they have to think about that. That is working. They are working their brain. The difference between them and you coming to work with them physical and doing 10 hours and 8 hours is that you don't have understanding of how to utilize your brain, period.
So they've given you something to do.
So now the difference is that they have an understanding, they have found themselves how powerful they are, and they're utilizing, and you see they are in control, that I'm a boss. This body is a treasure, and this body can do so much. So I'm coming up and I'm being in control, being in charge of this. But because the difference between the two of you, you don't have understanding of who you are. You haven't found you. So you are working for somebody with no understanding. So because you have not sat to work with your brain, but you are working physical, confusing yourself that what you're doing is the real hard work. But the hard work is utilizing your brain with no physical. So the brain generates money. So that's why I said that you don't chase after money. It comes to you. It's like a magnet. The money, you see, money is paper. Okay? So it can be called. When you blow on it, it goes. So you can call it. By sitting in your room and call money to you. You don't run after it.
You know, there was a video I was listening to, and the speaker said, sometimes you just have, majority of the time people move their body instead of being still and moving their mind.
So you see, when we went to the